The newest Pokemon games have released, but we expect some players who haven't played a Pokemon game in recent years to jump into this one. So we're doing our public duty and making this list for beginners. Here are 10 things to know when starting a new game of Pokemon Sun or Moon. Starting off at number 10, this is a basic game mechanic, but you should know that the bottom screen of the 3DS comes really in handy during battles. The best example is if you're in the middle of a battle and thinking about swapping out your Pokemon for another, you can actually tap the icon of that pending Pokemon and look at their move list, like a preview. This list is just like the attack list you have for your Pokemon that's currently out in battle, meaning that the game will actually tell you which moves are the most effective against your current opponent. Now look, I know longtime Pokemon fans should know this stuff by now. You know, water is most effective against fire, etc. But this is really super advantageous and can really help you strategize and get the most out of swapping your Pokemon in and out of battle. And at number 9, when you're traveling through the game world of Alola, you'll come across these floating green blobs in random spots throughout different areas. These are Zygarde cells that you can collect and use to make a Zygarde. For those of you that don't know, Zygarde is a special Pokemon that you can create that has various different forms. We've seen this in Pokemon X and Y. But basically, the more Zygarde cells you collect around Alola, the bigger the form you can create. And also the more moves you can teach it, creating a pretty powerful Pokemon. So you should keep your eye out and definitely collect all these. Also, Zygarde can be such a badass. Holy shit, look at him. Do you see this guy? You definitely want one of these. And at number 8, when you're out there, try and catch an Oricorio. He's pretty awesome. He's like 4 Pokemon in one. Each of the various islands you visit have different colored nectar that you can collect, and when you give that nectar to your Oricorio, it changes its Pokemon type and behavior, which is pretty cool because with careful planning, you can change its type to be more effective against the type of trainer you're about to battle. If you know what you're squaring up against, you can change your Oricorio to be the most effective. And that is a very specific but super cool Pokemon ability to take advantage of. That's like a whole new strategy game mechanic right there. So definitely pay attention. And at number 7, it is so important to diversify. Diversify. I think this is an obvious one, but seriously, build your team carefully. Right from the get-go, you definitely want to start catching a lot of Pokemon, even if they're weak, and just make sure you keep a well-rounded team of different Pokemon types that can take on different other types of Pokemon effectively. Don't have a team of all fire Pokemon because a water Pokemon or a water Pokemon trainer is going to come along and wipe the floor with you. You want to be able to do as much damage as you can to multiple different types of Pokemon, and you also want to be able to take as much damage without getting hurt as well. As much as it seems easy, don't just rely on that one Pokemon all the time. A lot of people fall into a habit of using their starter Pokemon way too much. Because if you end up doing that and ignoring the rest of your team and not diversifying and training them all equally, your team is going to be completely and crazy underleveled, and you're not going to stand a chance. Especially with Pokemon Sun and Moon being a little bit more difficult than the previous Pokemon games, at least in my experience. And at number 6, speaking of paying attention, you should definitely pick your moves wisely. I think most old school Pokemon fans know that by now, and nothing has really changed. Your Pokemon can still only have 4 moves, but they can learn a ton of moves after that. While it's super tempting to go with offense only, there are some great defense moves that are really helpful and can really swing the battle in your favor. There's so many different defensive moves and effect creating moves, but something like confusing your opponent could really help you out in the long run and really save, and you can win a battle by the skin of your teeth. So try and keep your moveset varied and balanced between offense and defense. Just pick the defensive moves that aren't really a waste of time, And at number 5, don't forget to use that new QR scanner. It'll help you catch rare Pokemon, which is basically the whole goal of the game, right? Every one of these QR codes you scan will give you the heads up on where in Alola you can catch a certain Pokemon. What's really useful is that QR scanner system will also help you catch Pokemon that aren't usually found in Alola. It's also worth noting that every 10 codes you scan, you'll be able to do a full island scan. When you do a full island scan, it spawns a rare Pokemon that you only have 1 hour to attempt to catch. So do that and good luck. And at number 4, if you're playing the game at launch, heads up because you can actually take advantage of a pretty sweet little bonus. You can get a Munchlax for free, and it's got some pretty useful moves. It has Happy Hour, but it also has Holdback, which is like False Swipe, but with a different name. It's just really useful for catching Pokemon. All you have to really do is when you fire up the game and you're in the main menu, go to the mystery gift option, and then click on Via Internet. From there, you can get it, and it's important to know that it comes with a Snorlax exclusive Z Crystals. Z Crystals are important for the new Z move mechanics in Sun and Moon, so you're going to want to take advantage of that. This is available for everyone who plays the game at or around launch as a free bonus. So get on it. And at number 3, a small but useful tip in the early game. After you get through the first main area and go to the Pokemon Trainer School, once you complete the Pokemon Trainer School, there's a camera shop nearby, and there's a guy in the camera shop that if you've already caught 10 different Pokemon up till then, he'll give you 10 free Ultra Balls. I bet you didn't know that. Well, you're welcome. And at number 2, another very small but very useful tip. In the Pokemon Care mode, you can feed your Pokemon different colored beans that help them and heal them. If you feed your Pokemon 20 beans by the time you get to the coffee shop guy in the first Poke Center, talk to him and he'll give you a free rare candy. Nice. Free rare candy is good. It levels up your Pokemon much faster without grinding. Rare candy is just like candy in real life. You want candy. Rare candy is good. And at number 1, previously I mentioned the Pokemon Care option called Refresh. It seems like a tacky, cheesy throw-on mode, but use it to your advantage. You're gonna wanna max out your Pokemon's affection. Max affection gives your Pokemon boosted XP. It gives it a lot of other buffs. You have a higher chance at a critical strike, a larger tendency to dodge attacks, and the potential to shake off status ailments. So basically, if you want your main lineup of Pokemon to be the most badass they can in battle, take care of them, pay attention to them, clean them, pet them, rub them, whatever, feed them jelly beans, and do all that stuff, and then you'll get some pretty nice bonuses. And also, we got some quick bonus tips for you. It's important to give Pokemon held items. Use that mechanic to your advantage. A lot of people like to make their Pokemon hold on to things that make their moves more powerful, and me personally, I like Pokemon to have that last-minute life-saving berry on them at all times. Also, you should probably know this by now, but play Pokemon at different times of day. The game's in-game time is based on the clock of your 3DS, and if you're out Pokemon hunting, you'll find different Pokemon at different times of day. And some Pokemon will only evolve at certain times of day. So be sure to pay attention to the real-world clock when you're playing Pokemon. For once, you don't really have to waste your money on stuff like Antidote or Paralysis Heals or any of those types of things. Thanks to the aforementioned Pokemon Refresh feature, there's a lot you can do with it and it's really useful. Like I said, it's good for healing your Pokemon's status ailments and you can do it anytime you're out of battle. And you can use it whenever you want, as much as you want, and it's free. So why waste money on traditional antidotes when you could just do it in Pokemon Refresh and save your money for more important things like potions, Pokeballs, clothing, and whatever else you want to spend your money on. Pokemon Refresh is probably one of the best money-saving tips I can give you. Also, don't ignore Pokemon Pelago. Use that to your advantage. It might seem like a throwaway feature that kind of emulates mobile game stuff, but taking the time to develop these islands allow you to train Pokemon that aren't in your main group and level them up. But most importantly, besides training, they can find you items and encounter wild new Pokemon. That really ties back into what I said earlier, catching a lot of Pokemon is important because you can dump more Pokemon into Pokemon Pelago and get more bonuses from that. So definitely don't ignore it. So guys, those are 10 things to know when starting a new game in Pokemon Sun or Moon. However, the Pokemon games are surprisingly deep RPGs, and people are gonna have a ton of other tips out there for newbies. So be sure if you have been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon, let newcomers know in the comments any tips you have. Let's share them for everyone. Also, while you're at it, I wanna hear what you think of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Are you enjoying it? And what Pokemon did you start with? Let's not try to start a flame war with that one. You guys probably know the deal by now. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton if you learned a thing or two, and if you're new, subscribing is a good idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.